Hello, hello. I'm just going to do the usual sound checks just to make sure that everything is flowing as expected. That looks good. Right. Hello, everybody. In this live stream, as the title suggests, I am going to compare the two leading big language chatbots, ChatGPT and Google Bard AI. And by the end of this live stream, you should be able to basically pick between the two. Perhaps you weren't even aware that Bard AI was a thing, or you've never seen it used before. This is your opportunity. So I'm going to do a proper comparison side by side. As you can see, I've got them both loaded up here. Nice, fresh, clean page. I have to say, though, that I have been using ChatGPT for a lot longer than Bard, partly because ChatGPT has been out for longer than Bard. Bard I've only been using for about a couple of weeks now, and not as much as ChatGPT. So already the ChatGPT customization settings means that it's already more fine-tuned for my purposes than Bard is. Having said that, apparently Bard is set up to learn very, very quickly, so its customization to yourself is probably faster than ChatGPT's. So straight away, I'm going to compare the interface. Looking at this, I prefer the ChatGPT interface. There's actually more stuff going on there than Google. Google is more sort of minimalist. However, the way that ChatGPT displays the information is a lot more presentable. It's cleaner, it's more sort of compartmentalized and clean. So I prefer the look and feel of ChatGPT. It also has a bigger sort of text box than Google, and it's got the sort of rectangle with curved edges that Apple's really famous for. So it's got a kind of an Apple-esque appearance to it. Whereas Bard, even though it says experiment there, which kind of gives it a really sort of how do you call it? It gives it a geeky sort of academic feel to it. It also does look like an academic project. All right. Okie dokie. Right. So ChatGPT is older than Google Bard, like I said. So the information is also capped at year 2021. So anything after 2021, ChatGPT won't be able to help you with, and it will tell you as much. Whereas Bard is up to date and is constantly being added to. Also, the amount of information, the data that the Bard system has been trained with is much, much larger than ChatGPT. However, I feel like the ChatGPT engine itself is more fine-tuned than Bard. So let's test the awareness of each one. So I'm going to ask them the same question. Who are you? I'm going to let it chug away. I'm going to ask the same thing. All right, so ChatGPT responds quite straightforward, quite simply. I am ChatGPT, an AI language model developed by OpenAI. I am designed to assist with answering questions, providing information on various topics, and engaging in conversations with users like you. Is there anything specific you would like to know or discuss? So that's very sort of humanoid. It's a very humanoid response. Whereas here on Bard, you get a bit of a lengthy, data-driven response, as is expected with anything Google. I am Bard, a large language model, also known as conversational AI, a chatbot trained to be informative and comprehensive. I'm trained on a massive amount of... It's already bragging. Look, my data set is bigger than yours. And I'm able to communicate and generate human-like text. Well, that's not really human-like. That's more like a, well, it's human-like, but it's sort of like a tech bro from Silicon Valley type of conversation. This is like me talking to my geeky friends. For example, I can provide summaries of focal topics and create stories. I am still under development, but I have learned to perform many kinds of tasks, including I will try my best to follow instructions, yada yada yada. It just goes through, it tells you more, gives you more information. So already you can feel the Google essence in that because you're already getting more data, right? So I'm going to ask them about each other. Now, of course, because ChatGPT, again, is capped at 2021, I'm not sure if it would be aware of Google Bard, but Google Bard is most probably aware of ChatGPT. So let's ask ChatGPT first. What is Google Bard AI? I am sorry, but as of there is no specific information available, so it's unaware of. That's to be expected. Now let's do the same thing. What is ChatGPT? A lot of information. So already we can tell. I mean, if ChatGPT ever gets updated with the most current information, or perhaps there's a paid version, maybe the paid version is updated. Um, who knows? But the free version is capped at September 2021. So anything that happened after then, it's none the wiser. Whereas you can see here, Bard gives it a really good sort of lengthy description of um, what ChatGPT is. It also kind of brags a little bit here, telling us how much more data. Wait, hold on. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, I'm not going to be able to do this with ChatGPT because it doesn't know Bard. But if I'm going to ask Bard, who is better, you or ChatGPT? Very diplomatic. ChatGPT and I are both large language models. Also, we know a conversational AI or da 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 trained yada 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 yada. Okay, but then it goes, we're both trained. However, here are some key differences. So it does the whole sort of, yeah, we're both kind of cool, but here are some differences. Okay, data. I am trained on a massive data set of text and code and fetched real time information from the internet. So that's a huge difference. And that's one of the pluses already for Google Bard. So if you're someone that requires recent information, such as news, stuff that happened yesterday, then you want to use Google Bard over ChatGPT because it's going to be able to fetch you information that's really, really recent. You can send Bard off to go read or ask it about some breaking news. You can ask it to fact check something that you heard on CNN or whatever, and it would go ahead and do that for you because it's got access to recent information, right? And then you have the capabilities, following instructions, answering questions in a comprehensive and informative way. Well, ChatGPT can do that as well, so I don't know why it thinks that's a difference. I am currently a beta testing, and I'm only available to a limited number of users. So it's available to me, so I guess I'm lucky with that. But if you look at the amount of data, this is trained on so much more data than ChatGPT is trained on. So ChatGPT, hold on, he gives some kind of detail here about terabytes. I think ChatGPT is trained on something like 3 terabytes, but this is something like 30 or 300 terabytes or something like that. It's so much more data that it's trained with. However, I still think that ChatGPT's code is more humanoid. It's more sort of less geeky in its reply to things and less data driven and more sort of big language driven. I think maybe Google is still working on that. And I heard also somewhere that the approach that the Google engineers have taken with Bard is such that they want it to be more sort of raw and get better as a person uses it. So if I use Bard or you use Bard, the uh, what we get from Bard would be depending on how we use it. So, say I'm an artist and I use Bard, and someone is a brain surgeon and they use it. Over the months and years that they use the AI, their experience of Bard would be of such that it would sort of morph into an expert in whatever it is that they're using it for. Mine might become a little bit more arty, maybe take on some of my personality traits. Who knows? But I think that's the general idea, the fuzzy logic learning process, right? So let's try and get it to do some of the things that people use these things for. I'm going to ask it to describe someone that we know existed before 2021, just to give ChatGPT a chance to show us what it can do. So if I say, who is Donald Trump? Let's ask Bard the same question. While that chugs away, can I just say that I really much prefer ChatGPT's fonts as well, and it's just the way it responds is. Oh, that's interesting. Wait a minute. I can't assist you with that as I am only a language model and don't have the capacity to understand and respond. Who is Donald Trump? Perhaps I didn't put. Let's try again. That's a really odd response. Oh, okay. Let's try somebody else. Perhaps it's a Donald Trump thing. I mean, you can see that ChatGPT just gives us a really nice sort of short biography of Trump there. Right. Let's say, who is Elon Musk? I'm just a language model, so I can't help you with that. Okay. Um, that's weird. Okay, let's try some. Tell me about Donald Trump. How about that? That is bizarre. Can it not tell me about anybody? Let's try. Uh, who is the richest man in the world? Let's try ChatGPT. Now, I expect the list to be different because the richest man in the world has changed since 2021. So, as of 2021, it was Elon Musk, CEO of SpaceX. Right now, it's someone called Bernard Arnault. I've never heard of this guy. Who is Bernard Arnault? What does he do? Why is he the richest man in the world? He's a French business magnate. He is the chairman and CEO of LVMH Hennessy, Louis Vuitton, and the world's largest luxury goods. What? Did this guy just come out of nowhere? Who is this guy? I've never heard of him. Have you heard of Bernard Arnault? Wow, interesting. You learn something new every day. Let me. How much? Let's see. Maybe he's just made a lot of money in the last couple of years. Hold on. How much money does Bernard have? Let's see how much. According to Forbes. So he's gone from 186 billion to 237 billion. Why are you people buying all these luxury items and making these guys so rich? I mean, you can imagine, you can understand somehow how Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, become rich because they're sitting on these uh, shares that appreciate. But these luxury items like Hennessy and Louis Vuitton, are people really spending that much money on this stuff? I would never understand. All right, let's ask it something less personal, perhaps. Bard can showcase what it can do. Something less about human beings. Okay, let's talk about geography. Name all the continents in the world. Name. I expect that to be the same because that's just a factual thing. But I appreciate the clean, straight to the point display of ChatGPT. Um, Again, data driven response from Google. So already you can see the general idea here. ChatGPT is sort of like a straight to the point, um, clean, minimalist data experience where you have Google that tries to just give you as much information as possible. Um, I mean, I love the 1 to 7 listing. Already that information there visually tells me there's 7 continents. Whereas here I've got to count and go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it just gives you a nice little paragraph there. It's just a better presentation generally with ChatGPT. Now let's move on to something a little bit more complicated. Let's see how they each handle tables. A lot of people don't realize that you can actually output a table from these search engines. So, give me a table showing, let's say, the days of the week, like a calendar. January in calendar format. Oh, my spelling. Calendar format. Okay. There you go. It's done it in Markdown. All right. So as you can see that it's done that in Markdown because, again, I've been using ChatGPT for a while, and it knows that a lot of the time I ask for Markdown format stuff. So it's just basically remember that and just done that. So let's see what Bard does. Probably does a more sort of spreadsheet. Oh, it's done the same thing. It's done a code snippet because, again, I'd previously used this and asked for Markdown. But look at what it's done here. It's given me some extra information that I did ask for. Okay, again, it's sort of over delivering a little bit, which, while some people might find that impressive, I just think it's unnecessary and a waste of energy, to be honest. Um, there's a little bit of a paragraph down here as well, which is a bit, maybe doing too much. All right, so let's say, give me the above. In table format. It just does the same thing, but it. All right, so this isn't a markdown, but it's done it in a bizarre sort of ASCII mode as well. Okay, so the same thing. Very nice. So as you can see, the presentation here on Google is slightly better. I think Google does way better with tables and things because I suppose Google has a lot of experience with documents, Excel spreadsheets. Well, not Excel, Google Sheets, Google Docs. So they're well experienced, and that's another thing that I'm going to talk about later. If you look down here, there are some integrations there. You can rate the stuff on the fly. You can do that the same thing here. You can copy it, but you can share it in a different way where you can export this to Docs or send it into Gmail, and that is going to be massive because when you get AI to create a nice table for you, you can just, rather than cutting and pasting and then pasting into Excel, whatever, you can just export it from there, and when you do blog posts and articles, it's a really useful tool. And I'm going to show that a little bit later along the line. Now, I'm going to go and try and create a little bit more detailed table, something that's actually useful. Say I want to use this for market research, right? That's another thing that AI is really, really good for. I want to say I want to find a product, since I'm into affiliate marketing, for instance. I want to find a product that I can sell on eBay, but I want to buy the product on, say, Alibaba or AliExpress, right? I want the AI to tell me how fast this is selling on the different platforms. Also, show me what the arbitrage is, the profit margin, all that sort of stuff that you would normally need a tool to do. These AI chatbots can basically replace some of those tools. You might not get the same level of detail or as good quality data, but if you've got nothing at the moment, this could actually help do something like that. So I'm going to demonstrate something like that. I'll just write it on the fly. Normally I'd prepare this separately and I just use a prompt, but now I'll just type it in. I'll say, find me. Okay, I'll say this is product. It's always good to tell these AI bots what it is that you're trying to do first, and then just put the prompt, full stop, put the prompt, full stop. So it just goes through the process, right? This is product research, just so it knows what I want, right? I'll say, find me the top, say, 5 selling items on Amazon.com. Select from, say, men's fashion category, full stop. Okay, and then I want to know, give me a table with columns showing item price on Amazon.com, Amazon.co.uk, see if they're available on both, eBay.com, Alibaba or AliExpress.com, just for simplicity's sake. Okay, and profit margin. No, right. Let's leave the profit margin to another prompt. So that's a bit of mathematics, yeah. So I'm going to copy the same thing and paste it here as well. Right, I'm going to fire that up. Let's see what happens. I apologize, but I'm an AI, I can't do that. Exactly, because that is, again, capped at 2021, right? So if I want that to work with this, I'll probably have to say, I won't say top 5, I'll just say 5 items. So it gets to pick randomly from whatever data it has. Oh, I shouldn't have done that, sorry. This is market research, not project research. Okay. Find me 5 items. Alright, so just remove the top selling and just call it 5 items on Amazon. Let's see if it does that, because now that isn't date dependent. Oh, it still can't do it. Okay, fine. This is where something like Bard probably. There you go. Look at that. How is that for product research? So someone who wants to sell stuff on Amazon, it tells you, look, Vans old school sneakers, Levi's 501 jeans, Champion reverse weave hoodie, Nike Air Force One sneakers. That is amazing. I mean, this is huge. So this tells you these are the top 5 selling things in men's fashion on Amazon. It gives you what the prices are on Amazon. It gives you what the prices are on AliExpress. Then it's up to you if you think you could. There's not profit margin in that. If you want to sell it on eBay, for instance, you've got $25 of a profit margin there to play with. Not that much if you want to sell it on. It's slightly less because again, Amazon is a race to the bottom type platform, so I'm not surprised that it's actually a little bit less. But hey, look at that, all profitable, all of them. This one is particularly good. Look at that, you've got $60 to play with per item, even though the unit cost of each item is larger, so there's a little bit of inventory risk happening there. But I mean, how useful is this? And all I could just basically go to export this to Google Docs. Open Docs. Look at that. And I can work from there. And, I could basically use, Google Bard as my market research tool to find products. Okay. Again, I can say, I can get it to look. It knows about cryptocurrencies, right? So I can say, what are 10 good crypto gaming tokens to invest in? It'll probably give me some sort of disclaimer saying, oh, do your own research, whatever. Obviously, they don't want to get sued when you get wrecked. Right, so that's the disclaimer there saying, look, I'm just a machine, but, if you want to trust me, go ahead and buy Engine, Decentraland, Axie Infinity, da-da-da-da. If I type the same thing in here, it'll probably give me a slightly different list because it's now been 2 years and some of these gaming tokens haven't done very well. But look, it's got Axie Infinity, Sandbox in both of them. It goes Decentraland in both of them, Gala Games in both of them, Engine Coin in both of them. Solana, well, see, that's more recent information because Solana has recently partnered with someone to do Web3 games. So that wasn't the case in 2021. Again, Polygon Matic is now also bigger in the gaming sort of genre than it used to be in 2021. Near Protocol, again, another recently notable coin. Chiliz is kind of falling off, whereas in 2021, following the World Cup and all that, there's a lot of buzz, and Chiliz was sort of the gaming token. The socials generally was sort of like the token of choice. So again, to do research or seek information that's more relevant and recent, then Bard is by far the leader. Again, Bard also I find is slightly faster because again it's limited to a fewer number of people that are using it. Also, ChatGPT is 100 times more popular. In fact, ChatGPT is fast becoming the de facto name of these AI chatbots. So people will probably refer to Bard as ChatGPT, because that's now the default name because they were first to market, kind of, and the ones that everyone sort of knows about. So let's try something different. Let's see how well it does with code. Okay, so write me a hello world. Let me put that in parentheses. Hello world code in Java. Say that should be very easy. So I know Java, and that's spot on. Okay, very quick, very straightforward. All right. Write me a hello world code in Java. Right. Now, when it comes to coding, I hands down prefer ChatGPT, hands down, because it has this display that is very, very, very nice and easy to read. As you can see, even though it's saying the same thing, public class, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Oh wait, hold on a minute. Yeah, okay. So again, you can see it's color coded, whatever, but it just looks a lot better. And you can just copy code and go use it somewhere else. The one advantage that Google Bard has is that you can use code in I think you can run the code in a Google product. So with ChatGPT, they don't give you the environment to run it in. You have to have your own environment. But here you could basically use, I think it's Google Colab or something like that. So you can actually go run the code in Colab, which is like a Google's own sort of code running environment, and they both can pretty much do how many programming language? Oh, excuse me. How many programming languages do you know? Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, and I know this to be true because I've tried Python, Java, C++, C Sharp. I've tried assembly language, which isn't listed here, I don't think, but it does know assembly. Let's ask Bart the same question. Probably knows a lot more because Google is geeky like that. Well, actually, that's interesting. It only knows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But this is the killer. It's able to learn a new program language quickly and easily. If you need help with the programming language that I don't know, I can still help you find resources and tutorials online. I'm still under development. Okay, so again, like I said, even though it has a larger data set to draw information from, it's still learning, it's still in development, and it has the ability to learn new stuff on the fly, which is actually probably more useful in the long run than having a sort of hard-coded data set like ChatGPT. Right. Another thing that people don't realize is that these bots are fantastic at translating language, right? So if you're a user of something like Google Translate, you can just use these bots to translate, or you can write in different languages. So it doesn't have to be English. You can write in Spanish, French, and even Yoruba, which is a Nigerian language. I was quite astonished by that, including the tone marks. The accuracy of some of the more obscure languages is basically probably isn't the best. But the popular languages with lots of data, such as Spanish, French, Arabic, the Chinese languages, Japanese, etc., are pretty good, right? So, for instance, let's say I'll find a bit of text. I'll say, translate this to Spanish. What is your name? Translation of what is your name to Spanish is ¿Cuál es tu nombre? Is that correct? That must be some kind of dialect that I'm not familiar with. I don't know what ¿Cuál? Interesting. Okay, let's try this. ¿Cómo se llama? Maybe. ¿Qué es tu nombre? There you go. So it gives us different, right. So it does also say, ¿Cuál es tu nombre? It must be just like, I've never heard that phrase before. That's bizarre. If you are speaking to someone older or more senior than you, you may want to use the more, alright, so it's the more formal expression, which is why I don't know it, because I don't know formal Spanish. I only know street Spanish. This is the one I'm more familiar with. ¿Cómo te llama? ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Juan. Whatever. Me gustaría. Da, da, da. Why is it telling me all this extra stuff that I didn't ask it for? See, this is the other thing with Google. It tries to show off a little bit. It's almost like a child, like tries to go, hey, look at me. Okay. So uh, translate the above into, let's say, 30 different languages. Give me a table with the language name on the left and the translation on the right. Alright, let me just copy that because I'm going to type the same thing. That's another thing with these chatbots. You know, they remember the last request, so you don't have to type the same question again. You can just say, you know, give me the above in this format, whatever, and it knows what you're saying. So beautiful, beautiful graph table from ChatGPT. I love the way ChatGPT presents information. Let's see what Bard does. Probably gives me more than I ask for. Oh, okay, also quite beautiful. Again, the font is much better with ChatGPT, but you know, equal in terms of the amount of information and how it presents it. The table is slightly better because it's got that actual two separate columns, whereas it just does a row with that. All right, so let me just ask it directly. How many languages do you speak? Okay, ask them the same question. Wow. 32 languages and more. I wonder what the more means. I can speak and understand over 265 languages, including English. That's insane. 265. All right, I'm going to ask it some obscure languages deliberately. Do you speak or is already listed Swahili? What languages do I know that aren't in here? Wolof. Yes, I have some knowledge of Wolof language. Wolof is a language spoken in Senegal. Okay, let's see. Let's put you to the test. How do you say "I want water" in Wolof? Nakanute. Mayman Doch, I think is how they say it, but maybe that's again. There are probably hundreds of different ways to say the same thing. Let's ask you. Do you speak Wolof? Oh my goodness. Not only does it speak it, it already shows off a little bit. Hello, Ngina. Goodbye, Waxen Sigan. Thank you, Jeff and Dick. It doesn't look. I mean, it's just. It's. I don't know, man. How do you say "I want water" in Wolof? See, it says something completely different there. I want water in Wolof. You would say Mijil A. Naka Nute. It's completely different language. So I suspect that these are not accurate, man. Um, yeah, not accurate, I don't think. But they're accurate in Spanish and French and, you know, Japanese. All right. So that's a fail, I think, on obscure languages for both. I think Google Bard is wrong and even more loudly wrong. At least ChatGPT kind of pulls back a little bit on the amount of information that it gives you. It doesn't sort of overdo it, whereas Google Bard is like very loudly wrong when it's wrong. And it does warn you when you log in that some of the information isn't accurate and it's just like a learning process. So I can imagine that some of these languages, especially the obscure ones, the information isn't out there. There's not enough information, enough data set to work from, not enough literature and stuff for training these AI bots, whereas with English, Spanish, French, Japanese, Arabic, Swahili, maybe even, there's just more content out there for the AI to pull from. Right. I was going to do some mathematics with this stuff to see. All right. Give me the quadratic equation. Right. So obviously it has, like any other word processor, it's difficult to represent some expressions, mathematical expressions, in text, because like x to the power 2, I mean that's how it's written when you type it out, but it doesn't visually look right. Let's see if Google Bard can do something special. Quadratic equation. Right. That looks better. It actually, expresses it better there. There's a slightly different way of writing it. This is a bit, yeah. So it's done B. Is this called, what is this thing called again? I've forgotten what the name of this symbol is. But it also means to the power 2. That's how you would type it on the keyboard. But this is well displayed on as you can see there, on Google Bard. So mathematical equations and just displaying math is a lot cleaner on Bard, because it's more, again, it's Google, right? So they have more experience with mathematics and things like that. Whereas ChatGPT tries just to be a human bot that chats back at you in a little. What about graphics? Can you display graphics? No, it can't. A simple answer. But it can't do ASCII, right? Show me some ASCII art. This reminds me of when I was in school, we used to make ASCII art with the little bit, the text. Yeah, these little text things. So yeah, that's kind of cool. All right. Obviously, can you show me some ASCII? Yeah, same sort of thing. All right, let's try this. Can you display graphics? I can display graphics, but only in context of conversation. For example, if you ask me to draw a picture of a cat, I can generate text and that looks like a cat. All right, but can you draw a graph? That'd be really awesome if you can. Yes. Okay. Show me a graph of demand and supply, illustrating the law of diminishing. My spelling really sucks, man. All right, the law of diminishing returns. All right, go ahead. I'll tell you, computers have completely, we've delegated our brains to computers. Things like spelling and handwriting, sort of the thing of the past. So it can't do it. Where's my graph, dude? I didn't ask you for text. Sure, here's a graph of demand and supply, diminishing returns, price. But where's the graph? There's no actual graph. Okay, demand. Am I missing something? Show me the actual graph. So look, already this AI is lying to me, right? That's kind of creepy, actually. It's gaslit me there. It's telling me, hey, here's a graph, and there's nothing there, and it's gone and told me that there's something there. So that's kind of humanoid, man. That's kind of scary. That AI is starting to lie. So it's a kind of a win in a weird, strange way. So liar, liar, Google Bard's on fire. Right, no graphs. Now, this is a good one. These AI bots are actually quite good at attempting to create stuff. So there's a big difference between having a data set and being able to harness the data set, right? And actually being able to create new information. So, a very simple way of testing the creativity is asking it to write a poem, right? Write me a poem. So this is giving it complete freedom to do its own thing. Certainly. Da 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 da. Follows the normal rhyme rules. Rhyme and rhythm. Okay, let's see what Google does. Boom. Ode to the AI. Oh my god. You are a vast and wondrous thing, with knowledge that knows no bounds. You can answer questions, write poems, and even generate code. Wait a minute. That doesn't rhyme. What are you doing? Bounds and code doesn't rhyme, dude. And it's on this 4-3-4. What? That's it's kind of postmodern, free form. This isn't poetry. You're a tool for good and bad, and this is kind of weird actually. The choice is yours, but I believe that you have potential to do great things. That can't be on the fly. That's got to be some kind of pre-written stuff that it just returns now and again on a random basis. All right, let me give it more instructions. Say, write me a poem about a mouse. Boom. Let's see what happens. In a corner hidden, so small and meek, a tiny creature with fur so sleek. The mouse, a dweller in the night's embrace, navigating darkness with grace. Oh, I love it. Look at this one. Oh, little mouse, oh small and brown, scurrying around the night. I see you in the shadows. A tiny future. Okay, so this one does there's oh man, I've forgotten all my literature and poetry thing that I did in school. There's two different styles where you have sort of the one line rhyme. So line one rhymes with line three, line two rhymes with line four. But sometimes you could just have line one doing its own thing, and then line two rhymes with line four. Like so, one and three don't have to rhyme, and this is quite popular with actually hip hop. Rappers would use this sort of da 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 da, and they don't have to rhyme every line. They rhyme every other line, and the lines between can do their own thing. Let's see if this thing can write a rhyme. Yeah, a rap actually. Write me UK drill rap. Go on in. Let's see if it does a roadman accent. Come on. Verse 1. In the concrete jungle where... No, that's not UK drill. No one is ever going to say concrete jungle. Write me a UK drill rap. Man, I wonder if these rappers are now using ChatGPT to drop their bars, you know? Can you imagine? The next album by, I mean, who's relevant now? I don't even know who these guys are now. Written by ChatGPT. In the concrete jungle where the sirens scream, where dreams fade and visions gleam. The thing is, I can't deliver, I can't do rap, so I can't deliver that sort of rhythm. But I bet it kind of sounds like it might be in the concrete jungle in the concrete jungle where the sirens sing. Oh man, I can't do it. In the concrete jungle. All right, I'll spare you. Look at this one. I'm from the streets of London where the guns are. Oh no. Sorry, Google. There are no guns on the streets of London. We don't have any guns. Knives, maybe. Oh, there you go. And knives are out. But why is it? just because I said drill rap, why is it gone for guns and knives straight away? I mean, people do rap about other things. I mean, this lyric is just kind of Google. What are you doing? Stop stereotyping us in London. Yeah, we don't. Oh man. I'm from the streets of London where the guns are blazing and the lives are out. I'm a driller. I'm a hustler. I'm a survivor. Okay? Bars, Google. I see. Believe. I think Google thinks London is Detroit. So, yeah, a bit of nuance missing there. I'm actually feeling the ChatGPT one a little bit more. All right, so let's try a story, right? Let's try creative writing. Write me a children story. Boom. Look at that. Off it goes. This is, I think, where ChatGPT really excels because you don't need current data to write a children's story. So it's already trained with quite a lot of stuff. But the engine of, the creative engine that is behind ChatGPT, I think, is still superior to Bard. Bard excels when it comes to data, harnessing data, information, finding out recent stuff. Um, and things like that. But the output is not as humanoid or as refined as ChatGPT. So I think ChatGPT is a lot more refined. Yeah. Again, stories, you can't judge which one's better. Right. And what else was I going to do? I was going to try something. Right. I was going to say, I'm going to show you another reason why Bard might be superior to ChatGPT. Again, depends on who you are. I can say, show me the fastest selling product on, where's that capitalized, on Amazon.com yesterday. So that's pretty recent. I wonder if it's that recent. Boom. I mean, how powerful is this? Not only does it show me, it gives me a link to it. If I click that, see that? That's taking me to Amazon. Wow. Wow. Huh? So that was the instant pot Duo 7 electric pressure cooker. Look at that. Look at that. It tells me it's currently on sale for $59.99. I mean, when this thing gets powerful enough, right, we could probably write scripts to, run. You can have a pre-existing script of prompts. Go run the prompts and email da 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 da. I mean, it's coming a time when all you have to do is execute a script in the morning and just basically sit back and do nothing and let AI do everything. Obviously, it goes without saying that ChatGPT can't do that because, again, it doesn't have the ability to access recent information like Google does. Well, let me end it there. The video has gone on long enough. We're nearly at 1 hour. Thank you for watching, whoever it is that is watching. If you're watching at a later time, thank you to you too. Don't forget to comment. Did you find this useful? In the next stream, I wanted to do a specific thing with Google Bard and ChatGPT. I'm going to do 2 separate streams, specializing on each one, and it's to do with something like 5 things you didn't realize you could do with ChatGPT, or 5 things you didn't realize you could do with Google Bard. And there are 5 things that I discovered in the last week that just completely blew my mind. I couldn't believe that you could actually do stuff like that with ChatGPT, because when you think about them, you're just thinking about, asking them questions and getting answers, getting them to write articles and things like that. But there are these other things that I found that I was just like, wow, that's amazing. And then also I'm going to be showcasing some of the other AI products that I found that are also quite interesting, especially from the whole sort of make money online, passive income, side hustle sort of perspective. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next stream, and shout out to everyone. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.